Hello
We'll
everyone.
now see what are the questions and answers that came in term 1 biology in class 10. The height of a person was abnormally high. It may be due to inadequate secretion of which of the following options? Option A, growth hormone from pituitary gland. Option B, estrogen from ovary. Option C, insulin from pituitary gland. Option D, insulin from pancreas. And here the answer is option A, growth hormone from pituitary gland. Which part of the brain controls balance and posture? Option A, cerebrum. B, medulla. C, cerebellum. D, hypothalamus. And the answer is cerebellum. Between brown-legged rabbit, denoted as capital B, and white-legged rabbit, small b, all offsprings were found to have brown leg. What can be inferred about the genetic makeup of the parent rabbits? So how did the answer be all brown after the cross between brown-legged rabbit and white-legged rabbit? So which of the following options will be correct for that? First option, option A, capital B crosses with small b. Option B, capital B small b crosses with capital B small b. Option C, capital B small b crosses with small b. And the last option D is small b crossing with small b. And the answer is the first one, option A, capital B crosses with small b. So when capital B is crossing with small b, we get capital B and small b, which gives rise to the color brown. And for the B option, capital B small b crossing with capital B small b, what we get is when these two combine, you will get capital B, that is brown color. Then capital B small b, again brown. Small b, capital B, again brown. But small b will be white. So all the offsprings are not brown in color in this case. When we check with the crossing between capital B and small b, we'll check whether we are getting all the offsprings brown. So here capital B crosses with small b, you get brown. Again capital B small d, you get brown. But small b and small b causes formation of only white offsprings. So capital B means brown, small b white. So or not all offsprings are brown. So this is also not the answer. Regarding the last option, option D, small b crossing with small b. When white crosses with white, obviously it will be white offsprings only. You're not going to get any brown. So this is also not the answer. We have all these. We have these fallopian tube here on both the sides. And then there is the uterus. Then there is cervix. So in all this, which is the site of fertilization in human females? So this comes fallopian tube, and here comes the ovary. This is the ovary, and this is the uterus. Cervix comes over here. So which of the following will come under the answer category? That is option A, B, C, or D. And the answer is C, fallopian tube. In bread mold, the structure label A and B in the figure respectively are option A, hyphae and spore, option B, root and sporangium, option C, hyphae and sporangium, and option D, root and spores. So in this figure, what is A and what is B? And the answer here is option C, hyphae and sporangium. Actually speaking, this question, this hyphae who's there that has modified to become rhizoids and stolon in part A. But it's a hyphae only after all. So that's why it's been labeled as hyphae and B as sporangium. And it wouldn't be wrong if you are marking it as option A, hyphae and spore, because inside the sporangium, the spores are also labeled. So you can consider either option C or option A will be the answer. Which of the following is an autotrophic mode of nutrition? Option A, yeast, option B, mushroom, option C, green plants, and option D, amoeba. And the answer is green plants. Why green plants are answer? Why green plants are is the answer? Green plants is the answer because green plants are having chlorophyll, whereas yeast and mushroom, they are fungi. Amoeba is a protozoa, so they cannot prepare their own food. So autotroph means among the list of organisms given, it's a green plant. So that's the answer. Which of the following options indicate the products formed after the breakdown of glucose in our muscle cells when there is lack of oxygen? Then the options are option A, ethanol plus carbon dioxide plus energy, option B, lactic acid plus energy, option C, lactic acid plus carbon monoxide plus energy, and the last option D is carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. And the answer is option B, lactic acid plus energy. Why? Because it is an anaerobic respiration. So there wouldn't be carbon dioxide, water energy, or carbon monoxide or ethanol. So the answer is option B, lactic acid plus energy, since it's muscles. The next question is based on assertion and reasoning that also carries 1 mark, where you have to choose the correct answers from the given options. Now the assertion for the question is photosynthesis occurs only in green plants. The reason given is chlorophyll absorbs light energy required for this process. Choose the correct answer from the following options. Option A, both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation for A. Option B, both A and R are true, but R is not the complete explanation of A. And option C, A is true, R is false. And the last option D is A is false but R is true. So you have to choose which is the correct from this. And the answer A here is A, that both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Next question is also assertion reason question. Here the assertion says reflex action is controlled by spinal cord. And the reason is because it is an involuntary and immediate response. Now you have to choose the correct answer from the given options. Option A and R both are true and R explains A. Option B, both assertion and reason are true, but R does not explain assertion. Option C, A is true but R is false. And option D, A is false but R is true. So you have to choose one among the given options. Here the answer is option B. Both assertion and reason, they are true, but the reason does not explain assertion. Why? Because it is an immediate response by the spinal cord, as the brain is not involved at first. So that should have been the reason. Here the answer is option B. Both assertion and reason, they are true, but the reason does not explain assertion. Why? Because it is an immediate response by the spinal cord, as the brain is not involved at first. So that should have been the reason. Comment on statement: as plants don't have excretory system, they don't excrete. That's for 2 marks. And the answer is that plants do excrete waste, but not through kidney, but in another way. Plants have oxygen that they remove through stomata. They remove excess water by transpiration method through the stomata. So you can see here water droplets on the leaves. That is as an effect of transpiration. Most of the tissues are dead. Then they lose some parts like leaves in which some wastes are stored. Some plant wastes are stored in vacuoles. Why is variation important in organisms? That's questions for 2 marks, so there should be 2 points. Variations are differences that they inherit from the first generation or parents. Variations in a species helps them to survive in the changing environment. So that's why variations are important in organisms. This is an OR question for question number 11. Explain the mechanism by which water is transported in plants. Regarding this topic, I had made one YouTube channel, and that site link I have put it inside description, so you can check that out. First is root pressure technique, where the roots absorb the mineral ions from the soil. Then there exists a difference in the concentration of mineral ions between the soil and the root. This makes the water from the soil to move into the root's xylem. So from root xylem, then the water and minerals will get transported to stem xylem and then into leaf xylem. So that is one way how the transportation takes place in plants. Another way, now this can take place only for small herbal plants. Now what if they are tall trees? The next method is used. transpiration pull. Transpiration means when the water evaporates from the surface of leaf through the stomata. That is transpiration. So when water evaporates from the leaf through stomata, it creates a difference in the concentration of water, which they call it as suction. So the water is pulled from the xylem cells of stem and the roots towards the leaf xylem. This method is used by plants to transport water in taller plants. List two differences between binary fission and multiple fission in protozoa. This carries 2 marks. So how to write it for 2 marks? Now binary fission means the protozoa simply splits into 2 equal halves during cell division, as in amoeba and leishmania. You can see the figures given. This NCERT textbook. Binary fission in amoeba, how they are dividing, and how the leishmania is also dividing through the same binary fission process. Multiple fission, for example, Plasmodium, they divide into many daughter cells at the same time. Simultaneously, they divide into many daughter cells. Now, this is a textbook, NCERT textbook figure of multiple fission in Plasmodium. So you can see here how it has been divided into many daughter cells. Now, each of the daughter cells, when they come out, they will become into an adult Plasmodium. This is for 3 marks. Explain double fertilization in angiosperms with a neat and labeled diagram. So we'll first know what is double fertilization. It's when 2 times fertilization takes place. This is the pistil. This is the ovary. This is the ovule. Inside the ovule, there will be embryo sac. An embryo sac has got 1, 2, 3 cells over here. That is called antipodal cells. There is a central cell here. And there are 3 cells at the micropylar end also, which is called as egg apparatus. So the stepwise, if you say what is double fertilization, pollen grain first germinates on the stigma to form a pollen tube. Then the pollen tube carries 2 male germ cells. We can also call germ cells as gametes, in which one male germ cell fuses with female germ cell in the embryo sac to form the zygote. So female germ cell means egg, and embryo sac is formed within the ovule. So female germ cell fuses with one male germ cell to form a zygote. So one fertilization happened. The other male germ cell will fuse with central cell inside the embryo sac to form endosperm. Later they will be giving nourishment to the developing embryo. Thus the fertilization in angiosperms are called double fertilization. This is a textbook figure, NCERT, germination of pollen on stigma. So here we can see the pollen grain germinating to form the pollen tube, male germ cell within the pollen tube. One male germ cell will fuse with the female germ cell and the other one will enter into and fuse with the central cell actually. And all this happens within embryo sac. Embryo sac is present within the ovule. Ovules are present within ovary. Next question is give reasons. It's for 3 marks. Ventricles have thicker muscular walls than atria. What will be the answer for that? Ventricles are the ones which are pumping blood. They pump blood towards either the aorta or towards pulmonary artery. So that's why they need that much of force. So they would have thicker muscular walls than the atria. So this is the answer. Since ventricles have to pump the blood into various organs and they have thicker muscular walls than the atria do. Next part of the question is, what protects the brain as well as spinal cord? Now the brain is protected by cranium, which is a part of skull, and spinal cord is protected by vertebral column. Draw a neat diagram of human female reproductive system and label any 4 parts. 4 marks question, so that means every part carries 1 mark. This is an OR question. Neha consumed boiled sweet potatoes and boiled eggs for breakfast. Help her to understand some steps in the process of digestion of the food taken by her by answering the questions given below. This carries 4 marks. Which of these food items is rich in proteins? Sweet potatoes or boiled eggs? Which is having full proteins? Boiled eggs will be the answer. And in which part of the alimentary canal is the digestion of this component initiated? It is initiated means where is it? It is first starting. It starts in stomach. Name the enzymes. That means pepsin is the enzyme, but the conditions required means if to make the pepsin active, hydrochloric acid is required, which is available in the stomach. And the glands associated with the digestion here. It's a gastric gland that is secreting all hydrochloric acid and pepsin. Which of these food items contains fats and how is it digested? Sweet potatoes are having carbohydrates, but boiled eggs, they have some amount of fat. So they contain fat, and how is it digested? Fats are digested using the enzyme lipase. So, and not only that, before lipase acts on it, bile will make the large molecules of fat into simpler fat molecules. It's on that the lipase enzyme acts to form fatty acids and glycerol. Which of these food items is rich in starch? Sweet potatoes are rich in starch. And how is its digestion initiated? Starch digestion is initiated from the mouth itself, and the enzyme is present in the saliva, that is salivary amylase. After that, when these sweet potatoes, they reach the stomach, there is no starch digestion, but when it comes to the intestine, small intestine receives a secretion of pancreatic amylase. So there the remaining starch digestion happens. The figure given below represents parts of the human alimentary canal. Which of these parts will have the maximum amount of digested food as soon as the process of digestion is completed? In this figure, human alimentary canal, there are parts labeled as L, M, N, O, and P. As you know, all the complete digestion takes place inside the small intestine, because after that the absorption of water takes place in large intestine. The digestion is complete in small intestine and the absorption of nutrients also starts in the small intestine, which means the answer is O. Explain Mendel's monohybrid cross with the help of a diagram. State the conclusion Mendel drew from it. This is for 5 marks. The first part of the question, explain Mendel's monohybrid cross. When two pea plants were crossed that differ in one character, only one trait were expressed in the F1 generation, which is called dominant trait, and the other trait that did not get expressed in F1 generation is called as recessive trait. Now for the B part of question, according to Mendel, when two pea plants that differed in one character were crossed, only one of the parental traits was seen in the F1 progeny, not some mixture of the two. So when he crossed two F1 plants, he found that the trait that could not express in the F1 generation was expressed in the F2 generation. This is a tall plant. It is crossed with a pure breeding dwarf plant. So they are the parents. When you cross, you get an F1 generation, capital T, small t. Since they follow the law of dominance, only one trait will be expressed and the plant will be tall. But Mendel did one thing. He did self-pollination from the F1 generation and then he got tall plants and dwarf plants in the ratio 3:1. So this is called as monohybrid ratio.